Do you have few friends? This may not be a sign of loneliness or failure. On the contrary, according to Stoic philosophy, a lack of friends could indicate that you're focusing on higher values, personal growth, wisdom, and inner freedom. In this video, we will explore why having fewer friends isn't a problem, but a sign of inner strength and maturity. If you're ready to challenge the idea that friendships define your worth, subscribe to the channel and join us on this journey of self-discovery. 1. Shyness or introversion. Have you ever found yourself in a social setting, not because you wanted to be there, but because you felt obligated? What if your discomfort isn't a sign of weakness, but something deeper? Many see shyness or introversion as barriers to forming friendships, but what if solitude were a hidden strength? According to Stoicism, true contentment comes not from the approval of others, but from within ourselves. Your introversion might not be a limitation, but a way to embrace a more meaningful life. In a world that celebrates extroversion, social events, group activities, constant communication, introverts can feel out of place. Yet, Stoicism teaches that worth is measured by character and resilience, not by social activity. Ancient Stoics like Marcus Aurelius and Seneca believed inner peace comes from focusing on what we can control, our actions, not others' opinions. Introversion can become a strength when used to reflect deeply and avoid superficial relationships formed out of social pressure. Seneca, the Stoic philosopher, often emphasized the value of solitude, preferring a few deep connections over many shallow ones. For him, solitude was essential for wisdom and self-understanding. Similarly, introverts often thrive in one-on-one settings, forming meaningful, lasting relationships. This aligns perfectly with the Stoic principle of quality over quantity in friendships. Consider a time when you left a social event feeling drained. Introverts often find energy in solitude, not constant interaction. This doesn't mean you lack social skills. It means you thrive in spaces where you can be your authentic self. The Stoics remind us to live according to our nature instead of fighting against it. What if you stopped viewing your introversion as a weakness and embraced it as a strength for self-reflection and genuine connection? Imagine how life could change if you set boundaries in social situations and focused on relationships that truly matter. The Stoic path to contentment lies in accepting and honoring your true nature. Starting today, set boundaries in your social life. Don't feel obligated to attend every event or join every conversation. Recharge in solitude and focus on building deeper, more meaningful relationships. Stoicism teaches that while we cannot control the external world, we can control how we engage with it. Embrace your introversion not as something to fix, but as a source of strength. After all, the Stoics believed that happiness comes from living in alignment with one's true nature. What will you do today to honor your introversion or shyness? Will you set boundaries or embrace solitude for self-reflection? Remember, in the eyes of the Stoics, living authentically is the ultimate strength. 2. Trust issues. Have you ever felt your heart closing off, unable to trust anyone after being hurt? It's not uncommon, and for many, the walls we build around ourselves aren't just about protection, they're about survival. Stoicism, an ancient philosophy, teaches us that this caution is not a flaw, but a form of wisdom earned through hardship. In today's world, trust is becoming increasingly rare. Social media presents a flood of connections, yet genuine, meaningful relationships are hard to find. We've all experienced betrayal or disappointment at some point, making it difficult to open up again. Stoicism, with its focus on self-control and emotional resilience, teaches us to guard our inner peace by carefully choosing who we allow into our lives. This may lead to fewer friends, but it also reflects a deeper understanding of human nature and the need to protect ourselves from unnecessary pain. Imagine someone who's been deeply hurt by a close friend or a partner. After that betrayal, they view the world through a filter of skepticism, doubting others even when sincerity is present. The walls they build aren't signs of weakness, but symbols of hard-earned wisdom. Epictetus, a famous Stoic philosopher, once said, "We cannot control the external events around us, but we can control how we react to them." People with trust issues understand this deeply. They can't stop others from hurting them, but they can choose to protect themselves by being more cautious about who they trust. Have you ever found it hard to trust others? Maybe you've built walls around your heart, not out of bitterness, but out of a desire to avoid more pain. Stoicism doesn't advocate for complete isolation. Instead, it encourages wise choices. Not everyone deserves access to your inner world, and protecting your peace is a sign of strength, not weakness. Letting go of those superficial connections that drain you can open the door to deeper, more meaningful bonds. Take a moment to reflect on the relationships in your life. Are they based on mutual trust and respect, or are they held together out of convenience and habit? It might be time to invest more energy in the relationships that truly matter and let go of those that don't contribute to your well-being. By adopting this mindset, you'll feel a sense of empowerment and freedom. You won't need to maintain endless superficial connections just for appearances. Instead, you'll experience the calm that comes from knowing you've surrounded yourself with trustworthy individuals who respect your boundaries. This emotional clarity can lead to a more peaceful, focused life, one where you're in control of your relationships, not the other way around. What's your next step? Think about one relationship that's been weighing on you. Is it helping you grow, or is it draining you emotionally? It's okay to let go of connections that no longer serve you. Share your thoughts in the comments below, and let's support each other in rebuilding trust and protecting our inner peace. 3. Lack of social opportunities. Ever wondered why your social circle seems smaller than others? Is it a reflection of your personality, or is there a deeper reason? In our fast-paced world, where connections often signify success, a lack of friends might seem like a shortcoming. But through the lens of Stoicism, this could reveal more about your strength, independence, and inner wisdom than you might think. A key Stoic concept is ataraxia, or tranquility. Stoics believe true happiness comes from detachment from external circumstances and finding contentment within. Marcus Aurelius, a Roman emperor and Stoic thinker, valued solitude and reflection despite his influential position. His meditations stress focusing on virtue, wisdom, and self-control rather than seeking approval or companionship. When feeling left out or disconnected, do you assume something essential is missing? According to Stoic principles, this might be a time to reflect on your own strengths and self-worth rather than seeking others' opinions. Stoics teach that while others' views are beyond our control, our self-perception is entirely up to us. Absence of social opportunities can also foster a resilient, independent mindset. Constant social interaction can lead to dependency on others' opinions or approval. Being alone forces reliance on your own judgment, which can strengthen your sense of self. Consider decisions you've made independently. Those experiences likely boosted your confidence and self-reliance. So, how can we use limited social opportunities for growth? Instead of fixating on the number of friends, focus on enhancing your inner world. Engage in activities that nourish your mind and soul. Read challenging books, practice mindfulness, and reflect on your values and goals. Epictetus, a Stoic philosopher, said, "Wealth consists not in having great possessions, but in having few wants." Similarly, fulfillment comes from nurturing a rich relationship with yourself, not from a large social circle. Embracing solitude has immediate and profound benefits. It frees you from societal pressures to conform or seek validation from others. This freedom allows you to navigate life with purpose and confidence, knowing that your happiness isn't dependent on external factors. Imagine ending each day with the realization that your contentment doesn't rely on others' approval, but on your own sense of worth. Reflect on your social life. Do you need more social opportunities to feel complete? Or is this an opportunity to deepen your connection with yourself? Can you find fulfillment without seeking it from others? Start by embracing solitude. Instead of filling time with distractions or unnecessary social interactions, invest in activities that build inner strength and resilience. Write down your thoughts, engage in self-reflection, or explore new interests. The more you focus on personal development, the less you'll depend on the outside world for validation. Share one action you'll take today to nurture your inner strength and resilience. Let's create a community of individuals who, like the Stoics, seek fulfillment from within and build a life based on wisdom, not external approval. 4. Lack of social skills. Have you ever felt the struggle of connecting with others, even though you crave it? What if the issue isn't your worth, but rather underdeveloped social skills? Skills that can be learned and improved. Stoic philosophy reminds us to focus on what we can control, and our ability to connect with others is within that control. In today's fast-paced world, forming friendships isn't just about being likable. It's about honing subtle social skills, listening, empathy, and engaging in meaningful conversations. Without these, even kind-hearted individuals can feel isolated. Stoicism teaches us to approach challenges rationally, including social difficulties. By practicing awareness and discipline, we can become better communicators and forge deeper connections. As face-to-face interactions dwindle, many struggle with social skills. Texting and social media have made it easy to avoid uncomfortable real-world situations, but the need for genuine human connection remains. Stoicism emphasizes focusing on what we can change, our approach to relationships. Instead of worrying about how others see us, we can work on becoming patient, empathetic, and communicative. Imagine being in a room full of people, feeling invisible. It's not that you're unworthy of connection, but maybe you lack the chance to practice key social skills. This is a common issue today, but instead of retreating in discomfort, Stoicism encourages us to engage and improve. Each conversation is a chance to grow. The next time you feel awkward, consider it an opportunity to practice patience and resilience. With time, discomfort can lead to growth, enhancing not only how others see you but how you view yourself. Improving social skills is a gradual process, but it brings immense freedom. No longer will fear hold you back from saying the wrong thing. Instead, you'll foster deeper connections that bring joy. Take a moment to reflect. What's one skill you can practice today to improve your social interactions? 5. Changing circumstances. Have you ever felt isolated or disconnected when life suddenly changes? Major life transitions, like starting a new job or moving to a different city, can disrupt our social circles. Yet, understanding and adapting to these changes can lead to profound personal growth. Stoicism, an ancient philosophy, offers powerful tools for dealing with these shifting circumstances. In today's fast-paced world, change is inevitable. Whether it's a career shift, relocating, or evolving personal interests, these changes can impact our social connections. Stoicism, with its emphasis on accepting what we cannot control and focusing on what we can, provides valuable insight for navigating these disruptions. Consider the example of moving to a new city for a job. This change not only affects your personal life, but also can shake up long-established relationships. Initially, you might feel loneliness and disconnection. However, according to Stoicism, the key is not to let these negative feelings dictate your actions. Instead, focus on what you can do to adapt to your new circumstances. For instance, you might join local clubs or social groups to expand your network or stay in touch with old friends through digital means. Rather than feeling overwhelmed by change, see it as an opportunity to grow and forge new connections. Adapting to new circumstances can provide a sense of freedom and control over your life. By taking proactive steps to maintain and build new social relationships, you can immediately experience the benefits of a more connected and stable social life. Share your experiences with recent changes and how you're adjusting to maintain your relationships. Together, we can explore effective ways to handle these transitions and use them as opportunities for growth and deeper connections. What's one action you'll take today to enhance your social ties in the face of change? 6. Shifting priorities or growth. Have you ever felt like the friendships that once meant everything to you are no longer the core of your happiness? As we progress through life, our priorities change, and sometimes that means leaving behind people who were once central to our existence. This isn't necessarily a sign of failure or social inadequacy. Rather, it is a reflection of personal growth. In the Stoic philosophy, friendships, like all external things, are considered indifferent, valuable, but not essential to our inner peace or virtue. Stoicism teaches that the most important relationship we have is the one with ourselves and our pursuit of wisdom. In today's fast-paced world, personal development, career achievements, and self-realization are increasingly emphasized. Many individuals find their social circles shrinking as they invest more time in self-growth or professional endeavors. But does this mean they are lonely or socially lacking? According to Stoicism, the answer is no. In fact, it could indicate that these individuals are focused on higher priorities, moving closer to their ideal version of themselves. The Stoic philosopher Epictetus once said, "Wealth consists not in having great possessions, but in having few wants." In the same vein, true wealth in life comes from aligning our relationships with our values, rather than chasing external validation through a large social network. For example, imagine someone deeply focused on their career and self-development. In their earlier years, they may have spent their weekends socializing with a wide circle of friends, engaging in activities that no longer align with their current goals. Over time, as they focus more on their professional aspirations and personal improvement, those relationships naturally fade. Does this make them a lonelier or less fulfilled person? Not in the eyes of Stoicism. Instead, they are focusing on something more enduring: virtue, wisdom, and self-mastery. These are the core principles of Stoic philosophy and are viewed as the foundation of a meaningful life. Ask yourself, have your relationships shifted as you've grown? Have you experienced moments where you realize that certain friendships no longer align with your new goals and values? This realization is a powerful one, as it allows you to reassess the relationships in your life through the lens of what truly matters. As the Stoics remind us, external things, including friendships, should not be relied upon for happiness. Rather, they should complement your internal state, aligning with your values and supporting your journey towards personal growth. So, what can you do? First, embrace this evolution. Don't cling to friendships that no longer serve your growth or align with your current priorities. Instead, focus on building relationships that reflect your values and the person you're striving to become. Take time to reflect on your current social circle. Are there relationships that feel forced or draining? Are there others that lift you up and encourage your personal development? Invest in those that matter and let go of the ones that don't. By doing this, You free yourself from the burden of maintaining superficial connections and create space for deeper, more meaningful relationships. This is where Stoicism becomes practical in everyday life. It teaches you to focus on what you can control and to find peace in that. As Epictetus reminds us, no man is free who is not master of himself. When you align your relationships with your inner values, you experience a sense of liberation and empowerment that goes far beyond the mere number of friends you have. 7. Mental well-being. Have you ever found yourself feeling alone, even in a crowd, and wondering whether the lack of close friendships reflects something deeper about you? In a world where social connections are often glorified, it's easy to feel like something is wrong when your circle of friends feels smaller than society expects. But what if this solitude, rather than signaling weakness, could be a profound source of inner strength and mental clarity? Stoicism teaches us that external circumstances, including friendships, are often beyond our control. According to Stoic thought, it is not the number of people around us that dictates our happiness, but how we perceive and respond to solitude. For instance, the Stoic philosopher Epictetus famously said, "Wealth consists not in having great possessions, but in having few wants." This principle applies to our emotional wealth as well. Instead of seeking fulfillment through others, Stoicism encourages us to focus on mastering our inner selves. Mental well-being is not dependent on the presence of friends, but on cultivating a resilient, contented mind. Think back to a time when you felt alone. Was it truly because you lacked friends, or was it because you weren't in touch with your own emotional well-being? Often, the feeling of isolation arises not from a lack of people, but from a lack of inner clarity and emotional self-care. Stoicism offers a valuable lesson here. By embracing solitude and using it as an opportunity for self-reflection, we grow stronger and more self-sufficient. The Stoic belief in the power of the mind over external circumstances encourages us to focus inward, where we find the roots of lasting peace. What if you could view solitude not as an absence of friendship, but as an opportunity for personal growth? How would your life change if you used this time alone to nurture your mental health, rather than letting loneliness define you? The Stoics understood that spending time alone allows us to build a stronger relationship with ourselves, and this relationship is essential for mental well-being. By practicing mindfulness, journaling, or simply checking in with yourself each day, you can take steps to foster emotional resilience. This inner strength, once cultivated, becomes a source of stability and peace, regardless of your external circumstances. Starting today, take 5 minutes each morning to reflect on your mental well-being. You might choose to meditate, journal your thoughts, or ask yourself, "How am I feeling?" This simple act of self-care, when done consistently, can lead to profound changes in your mental state. You will begin to realize that the relationship you have with yourself is just as important, if not more, than any friendship. What is one thing you will do today to prioritize your mental well-being? Commit to one small change, share it, and begin your journey toward embracing solitude as a source of strength. Through this personal commitment, you can build a community of like-minded individuals, united in the pursuit of inner peace and resilience, just as the Stoics once did. 8. Lifestyle choices. Have you ever considered how your daily decisions affect your relationships? The small habits, priorities, and lifestyle choices you make may be distancing you from others or preventing new friendships from forming. In Stoicism, a philosophy centered on resilience, self-discipline, and personal freedom, our lifestyle choices reflect our values and influence the connections we make. At its core, Stoicism teaches us to focus on what we can control and let go of what we cannot. Our habits and priorities shape our relationships, And while today's world often measures success by productivity and achievement, Stoicism reminds us that the number of friends we have doesn't determine our happiness. Instead, the alignment of our relationships with our values is what truly matters. Many professionals prioritize work and self-improvement over friendships, choosing solitude for personal growth. This choice may lead to fewer social interactions, but it often reflects a deeper commitment to internal values. Seneca, a famous Stoic philosopher, emphasized that we waste much of our time on distractions. By focusing on what matters, we can lead more meaningful lives. On the other hand, constantly seeking social approval can leave us feeling exhausted and unfulfilled. Stoicism advises against chasing external validation, encouraging us to prioritize relationships that align with our core values and seek quality over quantity. Reflect on your own life. Are there habits that limit your friendships? Are you declining invitations not out of disinterest, but because personal goals take precedence? It's worth considering whether your choices reflect your true desires or societal expectations. Ultimately, Stoicism teaches that while we can't control others' reactions, we can control our actions. A life of simplicity and self-discipline may lead to fewer friends, but those relationships will be more genuine. Marcus Aurelius, another renowned Stoic, embraced solitude and meaningful connections, demonstrating that fewer but deeper friendships can be more fulfilling. To foster authentic relationships, start by adjusting your habits. Schedule time for meaningful connections without compromising your personal growth. Small changes can lead to relationships that support both your social and personal development. In the end, adopting Stoic principles, focusing on what you can control, nurturing genuine connections, and letting go of superficial pursuits brings a sense of freedom. Instead of feeling pressured to maintain a large social circle, you'll cultivate a few deep relationships that truly reflect your values. What's one change you can make today to build more authentic friendships? Take that first step towards a fulfilling social life. 9. Differences in interests. As we move through different stages of life, it's natural for our interests to evolve. What once brought you close to others may no longer resonate as strongly. Have you found yourself feeling disconnected from certain friends because your passions or priorities have shifted? Rather than seeing this as a failure, these changes can be a reflection of personal growth, a deeper understanding of yourself, and even maturity, principles closely aligned with Stoicism. Modern society often encourages us to maintain large social circles, but as we grow, our values and interests change. This evolution can make it challenging to find common ground with those we used to connect with. Stoic philosopher Epictetus wisely pointed out that it is impossible for a person to begin to learn what they think they already know. Personal growth sometimes means leaving behind old habits and even distancing ourselves from people whose interests no longer match our own. This isn't about avoiding relationships, but about cultivating those that support your growth. At its core, Stoicism values self-reliance and emphasizes focusing on what you can control, rather than seeking validation from others. Marcus Aurelius, a key figure in Stoic thought, reminded us to find strength within ourselves instead of depending on external approval. Therefore, having fewer friends, especially when it's due to diverging interests, does not mean something is wrong with you. It can simply indicate that you are becoming more intentional and true to your core values. Reflect on the relationships in your life. Are they helping you grow? Or are they remnants of past interests that no longer align with your current self? What if you allowed yourself to step away from people who no longer share your vision and instead sought connections that inspire you? As the Stoics teach, it's crucial to focus on our internal world, not external perceptions. By doing so, you create room for more meaningful connections that match your personal evolution. Take a moment today to consider one relationship that might no longer serve you. Would stepping back or finding new common ground be a healthier approach? You might also explore building new connections based on the interests that matter most to you now. This subtle change in perspective could lead to greater contentment and freedom, two key aspects of Stoic philosophy. So, I invite you to reflect. Is there a friendship in your life that no longer aligns with your current values or interests? What small step can you take today to start aligning your relationships with the person you are becoming? Let's support one another in this process of growth, holding ourselves accountable for pursuing connections that reflect who we truly are, not just who we once were. In summary, we've discussed how having fewer friends can reflect personal growth, introversion, or changing priorities, not a flaw. Stoicism teaches us to value quality over quantity in relationships and find peace within ourselves. Take time to reflect on your friendships. Are they aligned with who you are now? If you enjoyed this video, comment one below, share it, and don't forget to subscribe for more Stoic insights. Thanks for watching.